What is your American dream?
My American dream is for Trump to be out of office and for we build bridges, not walls.
My American dream is to own my own business and just thrive and be wealthy.
My American dream is the NFL.
My American dream is to get a brand new president.
My American dream is that we collectively recognize each other as human beings and that we don't pass judgments based upon color, but we pass judgment based upon accomplishments.
My American dream is to be lucrative in my business, and then also I want to be able to give to different ministries, different causes, people who are in need to help them come up. If I manage to do that, I live my life.
I want to be the best soccer player in the world.
My American dream is to become a game designer because I'm really good with computers.
My American dream. Well, there's a lot going on right now, especially with the kids who are being separated from their families. So, I mean, the ultimate American dream for me would be to get all these families back together. It's really important. I mean, I couldn't imagine just being so young and separated from my family.
My American dream, I want to be a baseball player.
My American dream is just, I want to live in a world where we can all collectively live as a community and together and be able to thrive and impoverish without racism and hatred and, just a non-judgmental world that we can all live in.
Everyone has a right to the American dream.
Groundhog Sam!
Apparently not. She and her husband, Chief Love.
Chief Love.
That kid.
I like it though.
Chief Love.
Chief Love! Wait, pause. Wait a minute. Sammy Joe's husband is named Chief Love? Why isn't my name Chief Love? Everybody knows that I'm the chief of love around here. Well, that's more like it. Nothing like a suave bowler mustache to make sure everybody knows who the chief of love is around here. I'm the one that makes sure everyone gets a Valentine around here every Valentine's Day. Hi, Giselle. I'm wondering if you would be my Valentine.
So sorry, Groundhog Sam, but I'm already taken.
Oh, okay. And I always like to give flowers to the ladies. And I would like to offer you this lovely rose. Happy International Women's Day.
Thank you so much.
Oh, you're welcome. You ladies all work so hard.
Thank you.
Oh, yeah. And I enjoy kisses. International Women's Day. And of course, we all know that the biggest love of my life is Pimper One, the most precious of prairie dogs, living her best life in Thailand. I even learned how to say I love you in Thai.
Pom
Raccoon Mac. Pom Raccoon Mac.
Okay, we just learned how to say I love you.
That's right, Brad Squad. From Raccoon Ma. I love you very much. And you can just call me Chief Groundhog Sam of Love. That's right. Oh, hello, everybody. Did you miss yesterday's episode of Bradshaw Live? Well, in case you did, we learned the immigration story of Jenny Kim and Shannon Laguerre-Mengrat's families. They're both partners and immigration attorneys here at Spar and Bernstein. And then our very own Jonathan Yo-Yo Elias went to the Tenement Museum on the Lower East Side of Manhattan, and he got us a private tour of the summer pop-up exhibit, Immigrants Mean Business, an enduring history of entrepreneurs. It was very interesting. And now is
Hello, everybody. It is Tuesday. What is today's date? August 20th. The year is going by very fast.
Mom's birthday's tomorrow.
Whose birthday's tomorrow?
My mother.
Happy birthday, Mama.
Oh,
Happy birthday, Mama Yo-Yo.
Yeah, well, I didn't know that
under the
August
radar.
came that fast. Oh my goodness.
I can't believe, but I can't. I can't believe it's your mother's birthday.
Yeah,
so
well,
happy birthday,
yeah, thank
Mama.
you. Oh.
And I can't believe we're already into. It just seems like the year started like.
Sheesh.
Like in a blink of an eye.
Yeah.
It
And
really
then all
does.
of a sudden now it's a year later.
Yeah.
Yeah.
It's crazy.
It is
Wow.
Where
insane.
time flies. And you want to know what's interesting about time?
What's that?
As you get older,
Mm-hmm.
and I know the Brad Squad is going to say this.
Okay.
As you get older, time goes faster.
I
It
hear
does.
this.
Okay, you
It
don't even
really
realize.
does.
Wait till you hit 50 at my age.
Mm-hmm.
Time goes much faster. Remember, like in high school,
it would
it
take
seemed
forever.
like it went forever,
Forever.
right? And then college was a little faster.
Mm-hmm.
My 20s went a little faster. My 30s went a little faster. My 40s even went faster. And now I'm 50, and it seems like in a blink of an eye, I'm going to be 51.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Literally, I'm going to be 51 in September.
Wow. Yeah, because I remember when you just turned
Yeah,
50.
and it's just like it was like yesterday.
Listen,
Very sad thinking about how old I'm getting here.
Oh no.
Yes.
I think it's scary that time is going to go by faster. It's freaking me out a little bit that time is going to go by faster, Brad. That's bumming me out.
Yeah,
I already feel like it goes by really
Wait,
fast.
well, okay, like you're
Yeah, I
right
do
now.
too.
Yeah.
I want you to know something. Like in high school, you were like riding like a bicycle.
Yeah.
Okay, and
I'm in a Pinto right
and
now.
now you're in a Pinto in the right lane.
Right.
Okay, when you hit 50,
Right,
you're in the
right.
express lane all the way on the left,
Oh my God.
and you're speeding on the highway of life.
Wow.
in my Maserati.
Yes.
That
yes.
is not of life. That's a real one.
Yes, and by the way, Dawn Harriet and Deion Watson both say, and Molly Alobin Martin all say, all very true.
Yeah.
Sad, isn't it?
It is.
I'm making myself very upset
No,
right now.
that's why
You're
you got to
making
make the
me
most of it.
Pretty sad as well.
Yeah, before you know it, life's over.
That's why you make the
Okay.
most
It's
of it.
horrible, right?
No.
All right, can we think
no.
about something else?
Yeah.
I'm very depressed.
Seriously.
Let me say hello to my friends, maybe.
Sheesh.
Jessica Levy, how are you? Mia Montauk, how are you? Molly Alobin, Martin Dion Reed. Who else? Carol Anderson, the Tiger, watching. Donald M. Koch, squad up. Deion Watson, Nikki Keisha has a question. We'll get back to you in a little bit. And Molly Alobin Martin, I already mentioned. Jacqueline Brown says, hello, good evening, Jacqueline. Lisa Bling Rose says, squad up, Uncle Brad, Kimmy Yo-Yo, one big family.
Yeah.
That's right. Now that makes me happy,
Good.
all right? Marcia Macala.
Mm-hmm.
I can't say it right. I don't know why. Says, squad up. Ellen Clark saying hello. Kay Ann Forrester repping Jamaica.
That's right.
Yes. I said Dawn Harriet already. Molly Alobin Martin. Angela Barrett saying thank you. I'm not sure for what, but she's thanking everybody.
Nice.
Val,
Probably for being here.
maybe. Val Thomas, Sammy Joe, and Myrtle Ray. Who else we have here? And, of course, Terry. Jason Jones.
Yeah.
Terry and Jason Jones. They sound like action heroes.
Yeah,
they
they
do.
do.
Right.
I like that.
Right.
Terry,
In
Terry,
Fast
Jason
and
Jones.
Fast and Furious number 71.
Right.
Starring Terry. And who is it? Jason
Jason
Jones.
Jones.
Jason Jones.
Yes, they both sound like action heroes.
Jason
right?
Jones is an All-American. Like, he played football.
JJ.
Yes.
Yeah,
Yeah.
100%. He went
Right.
by JJ in high school.
That's
Yeah.
right.
Yeah,
Yeah, who's the
100%.
valedictorian?
Yeah.
Right.
But
His
he
chin is
also-
like square.
But he also
Right.
pounded beers on the weekend,
Yeah.
and you don't know how he did it all.
He was,
Jason
like, perfect.
Jones, man.
Jason Jones is
That
perfect.
All-American guy.
He's a very
That guy.
perfect guy. Very perfect guy. Unlike Brad Bernstein.
Were you not the
I'm
All-American?
not All-American, no. I'm short. I'm fat.
I wasn't the All-American.
Yeah.
I was skinny and bucktooth.
I was
Look at us now, though.
loud. I was loud and chonky. I'm still loud and chonky and repping that ish real hard.
Yeah.
We're the misfits.
Yeah,
We are. I don't know. Let me say hello to Max Santos, Clever Singh, Tracy Lacey, Kelly Green, Dabian Lang, D Bean, Ja Love, back on YouTube. She switches back and forth. She's used to double fist, and now she's just back.
Singular fisting.
Singular fisting now,
Right.
I guess that would be it, right?
It could be a game. We're going to figure out what social media platform Ja Love is going to be on today.
we should take a bet tomorrow.
Okay.
All right, Ja Love, don't tell us, but we're going to write it down.
There we go.
Yep.
And then when she comes up, we're all going to put our paper up and see which one she's going to be on.
Perfect.
All right. Which social media platform? And all of a sudden, Kid pulls up Snapchat. You know?
I know. It's like, we're on TikTok today. And it's like, wow.
Nice.
Kiki, how are you? Andre Flores. A lot of people with questions on YouTube.
I love it.
Scarlet Knight, Richard 9J says, thanks for my Badge Squad team. I'm a top fan.
Yes.
Who is 9J on Facebook?
9J? Yo-Yo is 9J. That's his apartment number.
But somebody is 9J. Somebody
They made their name 9J.
Is 9J. That's what I'm saying.
didn't.
Who's 9J?
Oh my God.
Are you understanding the words coming out of my mouth?
I now see what you're saying.
I'm saying
I had not seen the human.
somebody.
Oh, you know what?
Somebody's
9J was already there, and that's why I said, "Oh, that's my apartment." And I was like, "Shit!"
Oh.
Like,
Oh, is that it?
Yeah.
Oh, okay. I thought
Changed their name.
Yes.
Yeah.
I thought somebody changed their name just to.
that would be pretty
so
wild.
creepy. That would be so creepy.
All right, Belgium. Oh, you know who we have as part of the Brad Squad Spotlight today? It's Alec Hockenberger. We haven't seen Alec in a while, but hopefully he's watching today. He's an American citizen of German and Irish descent. There he is. He works as an engineer for an environmental consulting firm in New Jersey, and on a day-to-day basis, he tests soil water for contaminants.
Oh my gosh. Like an Aaron Brockovich type of situation?
I'm not exactly
Like,
sure,
he's
but there he is.
testing
There he is somewhere testing some soil samples.
Look at him testing soil
Yes.
samples.
Right, he's looking. He's like, where is my soil tester? I think that's what that picture says. In his spare time, he likes to play the guitar. The man loves cheese.
Yes.
And he plays some basketball.
Okay.
Now, he found out about the Bradshaw Live. Let's see, how did he find out about this Bradshaw Live?
I don't know. How did
Through a friend sharing the page.
Hey!
He didn't know much about immigration law before, and now he is hooked. He's also a big fan of the street segments where Yo-Yo and Belgium Kim cover all the parades and events. And there he is, Alec Hockenberger.
Alec.
In the Brad Squad Spotlight. And
Awesome.
Belgium Kim and Jonathan Yo-Yo Elias, why don't you tell everybody what they need to do to share this while I stretch and get ready for some schmoozing.
Absolutely. All right, everybody, before we get to schmoozing, before we give you our spiel, we need everybody watching right now, Facebook and YouTube combined. Join the Brad Squad group on Facebook, because if you do that, you get a lot of incentives that you wouldn't have gotten if you're not in the Brad Squad group. So certain things that you would get is first 5 people to put their social media questions in the actual group, you will get a guaranteed answer, okay? That's big because we definitely can't guarantee everybody else's, but we definitely will guarantee you guys will be the first 5 questions that we ask. And we also will put different videos and fun little tips and trinkets and whatever, all of that good stuff, all in the Facebook group. So make sure you guys join right now, and Kim and I will actually accept as you're watching. All right, now for Facebook, we definitely need you guys to share. That's always the number one thing. You guys also have to tell your friends and family to share. We're not just wanting you guys to share, but we want you guys to help us out and do your job as well by telling people to share. All right, so how you share is just press that little arrow that says share. Share it to anybody's page, share it to an inbox, share it as a text message. You can do whatever you want. There's so many different ways. And another big way of sharing is also by starting a watch party. That's probably one of the best ways right now, just because it sends a huge notification to your entire friends list. And what that does is you have a watch party on your page. It shows on your profile. All your friends clock in. You guys can talk in the comment section, but always come back, remember, to the main Brad Squad page, because we definitely need you guys to also interact there. Send us all your questions in the comment section right now. It's the beginning of the show, so you will probably most likely guarantee get your question answered if you put it in right now, all right? Now also, we want you to like, love, smiley face, sad face, wow face, mad face, whatever you're feeling about whatever we're talking about, we definitely want you guys to show it there. And Kimmy, what are we gonna do on YouTube?
On YouTube, the first thing that we need you guys to do is subscribe. give into the peer pressure, look at that little finger that hit that subscribe button, and do the same thing. And make sure that you've hit that little bell right beside it, because that's what's going to give you the notification when we actually go live, which is kind of sometimes usually around the 5:30 area. Also, make sure that you are telling us everything you think and feel in the comments. Most importantly, leave us all of your immigration questions right now, because we ask them first come, first serve if you are not asking it in the Brad Squad group. So if you haven't asked it yet, you may not hear a response. So ask those questions right now, family. Do not wait. And of course, the easiest, best, most wonderful thing you can do for us, we need all of your friends and family to also watch this show. And then their friends and family and their friends and family. It's a treat, family. You get it? It's a family treat. So hit share, hit copy link, and then paste it into anywhere that you talk to your people on your phone, whether that's WhatsApp, GroupMe, Textra, just a regular text message, iMessage, a tweet, an Instagram DM, a Tinder message. However you talk to your people, that's how we, yes, send it through Tinder. Okay. You know that's going to be a real good opening line. All right, now, and now is the time you have all been waiting for. Brad's got his feelings about my Tinder thing, because we're going to find out if Schmoozing with Brad.
So you want to share the show on Tinder?
You're damn right, I do, Brad. You're damn right.
That's right. And maybe you could have your first, hey, why don't we get together and have a viewing party? For our first date on Tinder.
Hey, you want a real watch party? That's a real hot first message, y'all.
Wednesday?
You know.
Right. I'm going to tell you something. The best way to be blocked on Tinder very quickly, hey, you want to watch Brad Show Live with me?
Yeah.
You never know.
Listen, I think try it. Just see how it goes.
Has it worked for you so far?
No. Well, I've been in a relationship for a while, but I haven't feel like it would work.
But you're thinking if you were to be back, and like your relationship doesn't work out for whatever reason, you have to go
if I'm back on
Tinder,
the dating market, that's the first thing I do.
First thing, like, hey, watch Brad Show Live.
Brad, how do you think I bagged this one? That's what I did. What's up? Check out Brad Show Live.
It was definitely through Brad Show Live.
Wow, you're very feisty today, Kim.
Yeah.
Why are you so feisty today?
It's one of those days,
It's one of those days.
I let my hair out of the bun a few seconds before the show.
Why not? All right, so in the news today, it's Nuclear Weapons Tuesday.
Yes.
It's Nuclear Weapons Tuesday in the news today. The Pentagon has tested what was a previously banned Tomahawk missile off the coast of California. It was banned for more than 30 years with a treaty with Russia. Russia has violated the treaty. The United States is now violating the treaty. The Pentagon said it tested a ground-launched version of a Navy Tomahawk cruise missile, which was launched from San Nicolas Island and accurately struck its target after flying more than 310 miles. This is going to lead to a new nuclear warhead race. And you know what happens when you have a race to deploy nuclear weapons? Accidents happen.
Of course.
Testing accidents happen, and sometimes inadvertent war happens.
Yes.
Which is what is very scary about this.
Absolutely.
Both the United States and Russia withdrew from the treaty officially 2 weeks ago on August 2nd, 3 weeks ago on August 2nd. And the missile that was tested by the Pentagon did not have a nuclear warhead on it, unlike the nuclear missile that was tested by Russia 3 weeks ago in northern Siberian Russia that blew up in the air by mistake on August 8th.
Oh my God.
And that Russian nuclear weapon was as big a radiation leak as Chernobyl nuclear explosion in 1989.
Sheesh.
Now Putin is denying that this even happened. Putin is denying this even happened.
Of course.
However, who's in charge of the Comprehensive Nuclear Test Ban Treaty Organization.
Yes.
Which is an independent body which watches for nuclear weapons testing violations with over 300 monitoring stations around the world.
Right.
Are claiming that this Russian nuclear explosion did happen.
Of course.
And multiple scientists have died. Right. Now, what do you think?
I think that with a dictator on one side and a moron on the other side, I don't see a real good outcome to this, Brad.
No.
That's scary.
Yeah. It's very scary. As a matter of fact, a lot of former White House people who were Republicans are now calling for Trump to step aside because he is unstable. It's being led by former White House Communications Director Anthony Scaramucci. He said he's organizing a group of former Trump advisors who can attest to the president's instability. The Mooch said, this is not a never Trump situation. This is not just screeching rhetoric. This is, okay, this guy is very unstable. Everyone inside knows it. Everyone outside knows it. Let's see if we can find a viable alternative. Now, on Monday, Trump hit back. He said Anthony Scaramucci is highly unstable nutjob, who was with other candidates in the primary who got shackled and then unfortunately wielded his way into my campaign. Said his wife was driving him crazy. Something big was happening with her. Getting divorced. He was a mental wreck. We didn't want him around. Now fake news puts him on like he's my buddy. Scaramucci has repeatedly suggested that Republicans may need to replace the top of the ticket in 2020, but given Trump's stranglehold on the Republican Party, that is extraordinarily unlikely.
Of course not.
Planned Parenthood is now giving back $60 million in federal funding because there is a new rule that prohibits clinics from taking any federal funding if they are going to perform abortions or refer women to an abortion doctor.
Wow. So
now Planned Parenthood is giving back $60 million in federal funding, and they got to make this up privately.
Wow.
Yeah.
Yikes.
Other organizations, including the American Medical Association, say this restriction would force physicians and clinics to withhold medical information from patients, would interfere with doctor-patient relationships, and could deny pregnant women the range of options available to them. The immediate effect of the Planned Parenthood withdrawal is likely to vary from state to state because they may not have money to perform all of the necessary things that they were doing for women beforehand.
Right.
And that seems to be the problem. But given the fact of, I guess, the choice being we cannot provide any abortion advice or referrals versus cutting back on what they're able to do.
Right.
Better to cut back than do nothing.
Do nothing, exactly.
Right?
Absolutely.
This is pretty sad here. Besides the fact that our sticky things don't work today.
Yeah.
Because all these things are falling off my card. Every last one of them is falling off the card. So I'm like holding on for dear life here.
Way to go, Brad.
Yeah, it's the interns, I'm told. So, meanwhile, in Iceland, it's a very sad day for the world climate. Number one, we are recently marked the warmest month in July ever, this past July 2019. It is a record around the world, the warmest, hottest month ever on record in July since the beginning of time.
Right, yeah.
Now, for the first time ever in August, a glacier has disappeared. And it is now just rock.
Wow.
And this happens in Iceland, and they put up that used to be what it looked like, and now let's see what it looks like. That's what it looks like now.
Oh my gosh.
And they put a plaque up where this glacier used to be that was there for billions of years, I guess.
Right.
And it says, this plaque bears the inscription, "A Letter to the Future," and it's intended to raise awareness about the decline of glaciers and the effects of climate change. The plaque reads, "In the next 200 years, all our glaciers are expected to follow the same path. This monument is to acknowledge that we know what is happening and what needs to be done. Only you know if we did it."
Wow. That is terrifying.
Yeah.
Jeez.
So today is Independence Day in Indonesia.
Okay.
And they mark it, it's Saturday, I'm sorry. And they mark it with a greasy pole contest. What is the greasy pole contest?
Yeah.
It's a colorful independence celebration drawing upon the many traditions of Indonesian culture, including bizarre tests of agility and strength. And what do they actually do there, Belgium, Kim? I don't even know. They have nut trees, and they chop them down and shave down, and they're covered in grease or oil, as a team of men are forced to work together to make their way up the pole and snag the prize on the top.
That's what they're going to
And
do?
each team splits the goodies at the top of the pole, and that's how they celebrate their Independence Day.
Which is crazy.
That's a little
that's
weird.
very different.
That's a little weird, right?
That's,
And a shout out to
tradition.
Hungary, because
Yeah.
today is the State Foundation
Yeah.
Day of Hungary. It was on this day in 1038 that the first Christian king of Hungary, Saint Stephen I, died. And this day is also a religious holiday called St. Stephen's Day, and Catholics celebrate the day of the first patron saint of Hungary, and masses are hosted all over the country. This day also marks the Hungarian festival of the new bread.
Oh.
In many locations in Hungary and even in larger Hungarian communities beyond the border, the blessing or slicing of a loaf of bread are part of the celebration.
Oh.
And talking about bread, one of the most disgusting facts I have ever read here on Bradshaw Live.
Oh no, don't say that.
Yes, this is one of the most disgusting facts I've ever read on Bradshaw Live. 1 in 4 delivery drivers in a recent survey.
Oh, Lord.
1 in 4 delivery drivers admit to tasting your food before delivering it. That is gross.
I did read this about something.
Yes.
Yeah.
A recent survey, which was commissioned and conducted by restaurant food supplier and distributor U.S. Foods, asked both consumers and delivery workers about their habits and pain points when it comes to ordering and delivering meals. The response revealed some unique insight. It also revealed some unsettling information. Of the nearly 500 delivery workers surveyed, 28% said they munched on the food from an order.
That is insane.
28%.
Now, I want you to know something.
That pisses me
I
off.
want you to know something. I ordered a Postmates today.
Yeah.
And I only got half my sushi.
You're lying.
I'm not lying. It's very true. I even made a complaint to Postmates about it.
Yeah.
So I think maybe one of these 500 delivery drivers was my sushi guy. Further, 17% of customers said they had an experience where a delivery driver simply left the food outside and didn't hand it to them.
What?
That's kind of gross too.
That's disgusting.
Yeah,
respectful as well.
Yes.
Yeah. Now, they also surveyed 497 American adults who identified as having worked as a deliverer for at least one food delivery app, and those respondents had a median age of 30 years old. U.S. Foods found that the average American has 2 delivery apps on their smartphone from which they order about 3 times a month. The most popular apps are Uber Eats, Grubhub, DoorDash, and Postmates. I have Uber Eats and Postmates.
I have Uber Eats
I am
and
right
Grubhub.
I am right in the average.
Yeah.
I am right in the average.
What are you?
I'm Uber Eats and Grubhub.
Oh man, I broke the mold a little bit.
What do you have?
Because I'm seamless in Postmates. Yeah.
Now, to address this issue, 85% of consumers who responded said they want their restaurants to invest in tamper-resistant labels to help combat the delivery man from eating your sushi.
Absolutely.
Yes.
You know what? And the
great
thing that pisses me off is, it's one thing if you're a horrible customer at a restaurant and the waiter spits in your food or drops your egg roll and puts it back up like haha F you.
Right, or sticks in his pants and then serves it.
Right.
Would that be gross?
I'm not saying that some people deserve it.
Do you think anybody deserves to have a waiter put the egg roll in his pants?
It depends on what
then
that
serve
customer is doing. Because I've been a waiter since I was when I was 16
Did you ever
years
put
old.
anything in your pants and then serve it?
Absolutely not.
Okay,
Never did
so
that.
all right.
But
Thank God.
I've had customers that were so disrespectful that I wouldn't care if their egg roll fell on the ground and I put it back on the plate, because it comes with a whole respect thing. But these people who are ordering their food ain't did nothing to their delivery guys. So for them to touch their food without even doing anything wrong, I want to fight.
I want to know what kind of food touch it is. Like, are we
They're
sticking
eating
a
fries.
finger? Right, that's
They're
the thing.
eating
They're
fries.
eating fries. That's
You know,
exactly.
Or
They're taking a nugget.
they take a piece of sushi out of your.
They're not gonna do this.
I was missing sushi. It was supposed to be a roll cut into 6.
Okay.
I'm telling you, it was a roll and they cut it into 6. And I'm telling you, there's only 3 there. And I'm like, what happened to the ends of these rolls?
I gotta tell you, Brad, and I don't want to throw anybody under the bus, but did you personally get it from the delivery guy, or was there someone else who grabbed it from the delivery guy and brought it to your office?
You trying to say that his doorman did something?
No, it's Alan.
Oh, it was here?
Yeah, right here.
It was not Alan.
You think Alan is eating my sushi
I don't think
before?
Alan would it can't be Alan. Can't
You think
be
it's Alan?
It can't be
Nah.
Alan.
I think maybe I'm gonna speak to Alan. we have video here. We have video surveillance.
Yeah.
But I don't know how to use it.
Lord.
Only Alan knows how to use it.
He's the only one that looks?
He's the only one that looks. He's the
He's the security
so
guy.
I'm gonna fishy.
So this is very fishy that he's the only one who can look at the security cameras. Right. And it seems that my sushi's missing.
Right. And so now, when you look at the feed, I bet those 3 minutes.
But I don't know how to look at it. And then exactly, he's
That's
going to
what
say,
I'm
"I'm sorry, we don't have that."
Right, exactly. He's going to go back and be like, "Yeah, no problem, but look at the timestamp, Brad.
Yeah,
You'll see
exactly.
there's 3 missing minutes.
Exactly.
You'll see."
Oh, this is like down there with Epstein conspiracy.
Right.
Really good on that
Like what happened?
conspiracy.
Right, like
Yeah.
who killed Epstein and who ate Bernstein's sushi? It's right up there in conspiracy theories. All right. Meanwhile, the University of New York researchers are creating the first database of New York City English. Now, for most people, the New York accent is something you just, you know when you hear it.
Yeah.
Yeah, I'm from New York.
Right. It's like obscenity.
I'm from
You'll
Long
just
Island.
know when you see it.
Right. Now, 5 linguists are nearing the end of a 3-year project to create the first ever corpus of New York English. Mm-hmm. It's an online database composed of hundreds of audio interviews documenting the city's accents and all its variations. They also put a trademark spin on the first vowel in words like New Yorkers have very strong accents dropped from their R's, creating the famous New York sound, and have a more nasally pronunciation of the A in words like bag and ask. Do I have that?
Yes.
Okay.
Yes. They also put a trademark spin on the first vowel in words like coffee and making it coffee.
Coffee.
Right.
But it's.
You just said it both
I said it both the same way. I don't know how to say it otherwise. Coffee?
Coffee.
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 Coffee? It's not coffee. It's coffee.
Coffee.
It's not. No, it's not coffee.
It's like cough. It's like a cough.
No,
like when you,
it's not.
What is that?
It's not cough.
Cough.
It's cough. It's cough.
Where's
about
the
it, Brad.
W-O?
Yeah. No, it's not coffee. It's not coffee. It's cough.
Cough.
Yeah.
We cough.
We cough.
That is
Researchers said they found no
C-A-W-F-E-D.
evidence to support the idea that the variations of the city accents are borough specific. So it's not like Brooklyn sounds different than Manhattan, which sounds from the Bronx. The variations are really based on what ethnic group you're part of. So Italians sound a little different than the Jewish accents. The team is also investigating which words are specific to New York City. For example, only in New York they use the word pocketbook, which is what I use.
Yeah, I use that too.
I say pocketbook.
What is that?
But
Like a purse?
it's a purse or a bag. There's no other region other than in southern Appalachia mountains that says the word pocketbook. Everybody else around the world in English says bag or purse. But I will tell you, I will never say bag or purse.
Yeah.
I will say pocketbook.
Why is that?
I don't know. It doesn't. Bag and purse sounds weird to me.
How's a purse?
Just like coffee sounds weird to me. It's like I don't go to Starbucks and say, "Can I have some coffee?" I say, "I want some coffee, please."
Even when you say coffee, you sound like someone from Boston or something.
Yeah, I can't even say it properly.
Right.
Now the study was funded by the National Science Foundation. It's set to conclude in 2020. But one filmmaker who grew up in Staten Island says the researchers are missing one key point. And what they say is this: one thing that does cut across the ethnic groups and boroughs is the unspoken part, the swagger, the physicality, the interrupting of people in the middle of a sentence.
Ooh.
Do I interrupt everybody?
What do you?
No.
Do I interrupt anybody in the middle of a sentence?
You what? You've
Absolutely
never.
not.
You've never done that.
Not Brad.
You've never, ever not once done that. No one who would ever watch you for 2 hours a day could ever have any kind of video evidence that you've ever interrupted anyone in your whole life, Brad.
Meanwhile, after all of this is said and done, they say the least friendly state in all of the United States is New York. Finished dead last in a survey of the friendliest states in the country by a travel website posted Monday. Big Seven conducted a survey of its 1.5 million people social audience asking, what are the friendliest states in America? When explaining the results, the survey offered New York a backhanded compliment, saying that locals might seem a bit gruff at first, but it's a melting pot of many cultures, and neighborhoods in each borough have a community feel if you manage to stick it out for long enough. The Empire State's tri-state neighbors did not fare much better. New Jersey finishing 46th, Connecticut finishing 38th.
Wow.
Oh.
Now, Yo-Yo's home state of California didn't do well, finished
Really?
40th. While Belgium Kim's North Carolina only is 33rd.
What?
Now you know who's the friendliest state?
Wait, let's see. What would
Who do you think
guess?
is the friendliest state?
Oh, you probably already know.
I can't guess, yeah.
Yeah, you probably already know. I would say, you would think it's like a down south, right?
It's Minnesota. Minnesota is the friendliest state.
down south too.
Minnesota is the friendliest state. And Belgium Kim and Jonathan Yo-Yo Elias, please tell everybody to share, because we got to get into answering some immigration questions.
Okay, y'all, we're very friendly, and we're all going to do this in a very friendly manner, because we're all friendly people up here, despite what Big Seven Travel says.
Right.
What we would like to gently ask you to do, very first, if you could please be kind enough to join the Brad Show Live Brad Squad. We're going to drop the link ever so gently right in the comments. If you could click on it, if you want to, don't feel forced. Click join now if you want to, and we'll accept it, right? Because we're so friendly, we're right here, ready at your beck and call to accept. Also, if you want to be friendly, if you're from Minnesota, hit that share button, fam! Make sure to start a watch party and invite all of your other friendly friends, or make sure to share it into other friendly makers' inboxes as a private message. Also make sure that you're sharing it into groups that you're a member of. And of course, tell us all of your nice or not nice things in the comments by leaving us everything that you think and feel, and especially your immigration questions, because those are first come, first serve, so you gotta make sure to get those in early. And Yo-Yo on YouTube, what do they have to do?
Let's all act like our friendly friends in Minnesota and subscribe, guys. All right? All you have to do is press that little red button, subscribe, and make sure you also press that bell that will notify you whenever we come on, because you never know when we're going to do a pop-up. Every Friday during summertime, we do pop-ups, but you don't know what time that will come on, because we don't either. So make sure you guys press the little bell so you can get notified. Also, we need you guys to share. All you have to do is copy the link and send it to all your social media platforms. But most importantly, on YouTube, what we want you to do is create a group of friends and family on WhatsApp, Viber, GroupMe, text message, whatever little texting app you guys use. Make sure you guys create a group of friends and family that you think might benefit from this show or find it interesting, and send it out. A blast, all right? And most importantly, we definitely need you guys to press a thumbs up for us. Let us know how much you guys love this show. Also, the next segment will be social media questions, so put in all of your social media questions right now in the comment section. Now, this is what you guys have all been waiting for. This is when you guys call in and Brad answers your messages, get the answers to your immigration questions.
All right. We got MM or Eminem? Who do we got here? I know they're going to start rapping to me?
Yana?
MM?
Hello?
MM?
It says Yana.
Hi, Brad.
How are you?
Very well, thank you.
What can I do to help you?
Okay, so my question for today is, my husband is a green card holder, and I'm on F1 visa in the U.S. If we get married and we want to file, the visa bulletin says it's current now.
If you get married and you file right now, you can file to adjust your status. But you would have to do it before the end of September.
Okay, and then second question would be, if I adjust my status, I wouldn't need to file for EAD under my OPT because I graduate in December.
Well, yeah, you would. Well, I would still file for an EAD under the adjustment because you should get a work permit based on the adjustment.
Okay, thank you very much.
Welcome. Let's go to Richard in Jersey City. Richard.
Hi.
Hi, Richard.
My name is Richard, and I have got two questions, please. I want to know, sometimes in March last year, I filed for adjustment, one I-485 and I-130.
Right.
Unfortunately, when they scheduled the interview, I couldn't make it because I was terribly ill.
What was wrong? What was your illness?
I was having some typhoid and cough, and my chest pain. So I went to a hospital. So my lawyer said since I can't make the interview, I should get a medical report.
I'm going to tell you. All right, they're not rescheduling your interview because you have a cough. You would have to have been admitted into a hospital for them to reschedule. So the fact that you just went to an emergency room and got treated and left.
I was at the hospital.
Were you admitted? Did they give you a room?
Yeah, they gave me a room, but I just was just for some few hours.
Okay, so you were not admitted. You went to the emergency room. That's not getting admitted to a hospital. So you did. Okay. So let me just tell you. All right, unless you're admitted to a hospital, you're denied. You got to refile again. Point blank.
Oh, okay. I got denied, and my lawyer said I should file I-290B.
No. If you were not admitted into a hospital, you have. If you do not get a room, do you understand the difference between an emergency room visit and getting admitted into a hospital? because an emergency room visit, according to immigration, they're going to call bullshit on you. Okay? What you need, if you are truly sick, they would admit you into a hospital, then yes, you could appeal. But from what you're telling me, I know how immigration works. You could appeal this, and the appeal is going to take you years, and you're going to still be spinning your wheels and get nothing. You have to go to your interview when they schedule it. There's no rescheduling unless you're like literally admitted because you have a heart attack. Okay? So you can appeal all you want. You're going to be denied forever. Got to refile again.
Okay.
And then show up to your interview this time.
Okay. Thank you. And my last question, my I filed for motion to reconsider, but unfortunately, 45 and 130 was denied. They just said closed.
Are you listening to what I'm saying to you?
Yes, I'm listening.
Refile.
Okay.
Period. End of story. You have to refile everything. You don't show up to your interview, you got to refile. It's basically it.
Thank you.
You're welcome. All right. I don't know why I'm so angry today. I woke up on the wrong side of the bed today.
One of those days.
It's one of those days.
It's one of those days.
Very
They're gonna have to deal with it.
They're gonna have to deal with my anger issues today.
Take it all with a grain of salt today, fam.
That's right. You know what it is?
What?
I said I get happier as I drink, right?
That's true.
I should have got drunk before I came on the show today.
I'm sure we can arrange that.
I'd be happy.
We can still arrange that.
Listen, there's a door right there and someone who will walk through it with a bottle of booze at your discretion.
No, I apologize. I'm yelling at everybody. I'm just in an angry mood today. I don't know why.
Well, let's go drink after that.
Yeah, maybe. All right. Eli in Nashua, New Hampshire. Eli. Snooze, you lose.
Yeah. Snooze, you lose. Damn, Eli.
Chantel in Kingston, Jamaica. Chantel.
Hello.
How are you?
I'm good. I'm from Jamaica. I have a bachelor's degree in nursing. I passed my NCLEX RN. I have an active visa screen. However, the issue is I'm not licensed in my own country. So I want to know if that is a
as long as you have as long as it's not licensed in Jamaica, it's licensed in America with the visa screen, the CGFNS visa screen, and you're fine. If you have a you have a CGFNS visa screen, you're fine.
Okay, all right. Okay, so for example, like if I go to the consular embassy and they ask me for my local license, would that be an issue?
No, you don't need it. You have a CGFNS visa screen. That's all you need.
Okay, thank you.
You're very welcome. All right. That's what I have to say.
Okay.
It's a good thing to say, Brad.
Says a lot.
I don't know.
Weighted.
Abby in Gettysburg, Maryland. Abby.
Hello, sir.
How
Good
are you?
afternoon, sir.
How you doing?
I'm all right, sir. Yeah, let me not take your time. I just want to say I love your show. I look forward to looking at the show every day. They're very educative, so I've learned a lot from your shows. So my quick question, I have two questions to ask you, sir.
Yes.
My quick is I filed for two of my kids 2 years ago.
Yes.
I had two visas and they are already in the United States. So I've applied for the 220 green card for one, but I haven't applied for the second one, but they are due for renewal. Do I have to get the green card, 2 years green card before I apply for the 751 or
No, as a conditional green card holder you can file for your children.
Yes, no, what I'm saying is that I've already filed for them. My wife filed for them. They are here in America already.
Okay, so
they were issued 2 years visas. But my daughter, I've applied for a green card. I have a green card, but I haven't applied for my son's green card. But they are almost due for renewal for the I-751. Do I have to apply for his green card before I'm filing the 751? I don't need to.
You're talking about, because you say your son got a 2-year green card.
Yes, he got approved from Africa.
Okay,
but I haven't gotten the plastic.
You haven't gotten the plastic card, the physical card, and it's almost up. This is 2 years. Yes, you still have to file the I-751. That is the
Yes,
answer.
but do I have to apply for the plastic or I don't need to?
No, just apply for the I-751
Okay.
and they'll send an extension.
Okay. My second question
Yes.
is that my first child, I happen to have out of wedlock. So she went for an interview yesterday.
Uh-huh.
So she went for an interview yesterday.
Right.
And I haven't seen her for 13 years. She's 14 now. I haven't seen her. So they requested for passport photographs.
Who filed for her, you or your wife?
Yeah, my wife filed for her.
Okay, so
But
okay,
they requested for passport photograph of me and her, but we don't have any.
you don't need to, because if your wife is filing for her, all you need to do is prove that you have a biological relationship with her. If you if you were filing for her, not a stepmom, but you were filing for her, you would need to show a bona fide parent-child relationship, and they would have every right to ask for that. But because it's the mother filing, they don't have a right to ask for that, and you may want to have
But they did have it at the embassy.
So you may want to have a lawyer get involved.
Okay, so they asked me to. So can I just send them a letter explain that I don't have it?
I wouldn't know. I would have a lawyer get involved because they're asking for things that they're not required.
Okay. Thank you so very much.
Okay.
All right.
All right, let's go to Shanique in Fort Lauderdale, Florida. Shanique. Let's go to Oyen in Laurel, Maryland. Oyen.
Hi,
how are you?
good evening.
How are you?
I'm good, thank you.
What can I do to help you?
So, my question, I have two questions.
Mm-hmm.
So my first question is, I came here on F1 visa, but right now I'm out of status.
Right.
And, okay, so I got married last month, and I'll be filing my paperwork soon. But my husband and I don't live in the same state for financial reasons. I live with his mom in Maryland. Would that be a problem?
Yes, I think you asked that question. I've heard this question before. The answer is yes. You have to live with. It's not your husband's filing for you to live with his mother. Your husband's filing to live with you. So the interview is not I live with his mom, so it's a real marriage. The interview is I live with my husband and it's a real marriage. That's what you need to do.
Okay.
All right.
Yeah. Okay. Thank you.
You're welcome.
I also had a question about for my brother. He came here on a J1 visa. He came here 4 years ago, and he already filed his paperwork, and he hasn't gone for the interview yet. But the wife wants a divorce now. Do you think there's anything he can do about that?
No. Go to a marriage counselor and work it out. That's what I would do.
Okay. So if he gets the divorce, then he can't go through with the interview or anything.
Out of luck. Out of luck. He's SOL, and that doesn't mean statute of limitations.
Okay.
All right?
All right.
Okay.
Thank you very much.
You know what SOL means, right?
Yes.
Yes, I was about to say.
Right. Not statute of limitations.
No.
Something out of luck.
Out of luck. Yeah.
Out of luck, right.
Poop out of luck.
Correct. Ahmed in Dallas, Texas. Ahmed.
Hey, Brad, I have a quick question. I came to the United States in 2014 on an M1 visa.
Mm-hmm.
In 2015, I got married to a U.S. citizen.
Right.
2016, I applied for TPS. 2017, I got married to my current wife. And 2019, I annulled my first marriage.
Annulled.
Yes.
Okay. So now you got to. Why was there an annulment?
The day of the marriage, the next day, she left back to her state, and we got. All
right. I would remarry your second wife, even though it's an annulment. Just because immigration's probably going to ask for it anyway, and file with your second wife.
Okay, so I have to remarry because
even though legally an annulment means the marriage never happened, it was void. So you can make the argument that I don't have to remarry again because it was a void marriage. But it was a voidable marriage, not a void marriage. There's a difference. Okay? Meaning that there was a legal marriage at the time you married your wife.
Yes.
Okay? Which is different than there was no legal marriage because maybe your first wife was married to 6 other men at the same time. Okay? That marriage was void from its inception. There's a void marriage from inception. You can get an annulment. and there's a voidable marriage, meaning we're going to void this marriage out, but it was a true marriage for some period of time. So, me personally, I can feel very comfortable walking into immigration and saying, this is an annulled marriage, it never happened, so he's only married one time, and here it is. But I could totally see immigration saying, no, you're a bigamist. So to play it safe, I would marry a second time just to play it safe.
Well, the thing is, my family lawyer told me, no, you don't have to.
Legally correct. Technically and legally correct. I just think you're going to have a problem with immigration.
Okay.
That's my 2 cents on it. So it doesn't hurt to remarry again. People renew their vows all the time.
Yeah, but I mean, the question is, since, as you said, it's void, it's like never happened.
Correct.
Should I disclose it from the beginning?
Yes.
It's not considered like I'm giving information that I don't have to give?
No, disclose it.
Okay. All right. Okay, thank you, Brett.
Okay.
Right.
Let's go to Eunice in Fall River, Massachusetts. Eunice.
Yes.
How are you?
Good. So I have 2 questions.
Mm-hmm.
First question is my husband has asylum case pending for more than 5 years. They never called him for interview. So what should we do?
Your husband has a case for 5 years and never got called for an interview?
Never.
Okay. Are you a U.S. citizen?
No, I'm not. I'm in the same case. So he filed for whole family.
Okay. Who sponsored your husband?
Yeah, my husband.
Wait a second. Who sponsored your husband? Why is your husband getting a green card? How is he getting a green card?
No, he's not. My question is, he filed for asylum.
Your husband filed for asylum and hasn't heard 5 years because they're in a last in, first out situation. Meaning that I know that because they're working backwards. They're not working forwards. So, for example, if I file for asylum today, I'm going to get an interview before your husband. And they work backwards. So, in other words, you would think the fairness would be I filed for asylum and the person waiting the longest would get the interview first, but they're working backwards. So, the only thing you can do is if you have a good asylum claim to file a mandamus and force the government to interview him. Other than that, he could be waiting another 3, 4, 5 years for an interview.
Gee. So there's nothing we can do, right?
I didn't say that. I just said you can file a mandamus and force the government to give an interview. It's a lawsuit in federal court. Okay? You may want to hold on. You may want to have a consultation. Hold on one second.
Okay.
All right. Let's go back to Shanique in Fort Lauderdale, Florida. Shanique.
Hi.
Hi, how are you?
I'm all right. Hi, Brad. I'm good. How are you?
I'm angry today.
Angry?
But I'll get over it.
Yeah, you'll be all right.
I'll be okay.
Yeah. Be all right.
I just need a little love.
Okay, good.
Somebody give me some love, please. Nobody gives me any love. Okay, what is your question?
My question is when you file for spousal abuse, right?
Yes.
For the first 5 months, you would if you have a lawyer, I'm saying maybe they would issue your work permit, then you could use the work permit, apply for social, and further on your driver's license, you go to DMV.
Mm-hmm.
Right. Is it all right? So in order to get so this is self-petition then. So in order to get your green card, is it going to be 7 more months added on to that, or it's going to turn into 18 months? Like a whole year by itself, 12 months to get an interview for a green card? Or it's going to be added 5 months to the 7? That's, you understand?
I'm a little confused on what you're asking. After you get your abuse case approved, did you file an adjustment or you just filed an I-360?
No. I haven't filed anything. I'm just asking a question how it works.
The answer is you file an adjustment with an abuse case, and you'll get a work permit in about 6 months, and in 18 months or so from the time you file, you would get an
Mhm.
interview.
Oh, so it's 18 months.
Approximately.
Okay.
All right, now if you're going to file an abuse case, you better do it before the end of the month because I don't know if there's going to be an extension on VAWA.
Oh, okay.
All right, so you may want to do that. All right, so hold on one second. Let's go to Adam in Boca Raton, Florida. Adam.
Hello?
How are you?
Good, excellent, Brad. Sorry to hear about your sushi.
I'm sorry to hear about what? My sushi.
Your
Yeah.
sushi.
Yeah, since I didn't get the sushi, I've been so angry with that stupid sushi all day. You know, the little
That's
thing.
what got to you.
Yeah, the little
and,
things.
And by the way, if
yeah.
you're from Boston, you say coffee, not coffee. You know?
Right. I know, but I can't
Coffee,
pronounce. I can't pronounce.
the can to have it,
Coffee.
sort of deal.
That's right.
Yeah.
All right. So what's your question?
So I've been in the U.S. since the age of 4. You know, my dad was my original petitioner. Our lawyer kind of messed up. He applied for my parents, but not me. I came on a B2 visa with my mother. And
Where are you originally from?
basically, when I was in high school, we moved from Massachusetts down to Florida, and I was in high school, and I found out they're like, you have no status. So he applied for the I-130 at that time, and it got approved, and then basically he passed away when I was 21. So basically at that time, I had to reapply under my mother's name, and I did. I got her I-130 approved as well, and then I went to my green card interview and got denied.
Why?
Because I had some withheld adjudication charges, and I was deported in 2011 with withholding of removal. So I heard on your show that you talk about the 212 waiver,
right?
And I was wondering, do I physically have to leave, or is there a way that I could apply for that while I'm still here, or? You know,
no, you would have.
Is there any sort of relief for me? You know, I've been here my whole life.
Well, I don't know what.
I'm 38 now.
The relief would be to try to vacate your convictions.
Would that actually affect it? Get those vacated?
Yeah, because you just told me that you have some convictions that got you denied. Is that correct?
Yeah, there were 3 misdemeanor marijuana withheld adjudication and 1 felony withheld adjudication.
Right.
Which were explained to me at the time. Adjudication withheld means no judgment made. You're not innocent, you're not guilty, you're neither nor.
Right.
And it wasn't explained to me on the federal level that this is considered a conviction.
Considered a conviction, correct. So you're
barred. I feel like I was improperly represented in all those cases because I would have fought them to the T.
It's very possible. But this all happens in Florida?
Yeah.
Okay, so yeah.
And it was the latest case closed in 2007.
Okay.
So it's been like 13 years almost, and I was deported in 2011.
Right, but
I've been getting my EAD every year, and 3 months of not being able to work. My mother's a cancer patient. It's crazy, you know?
So where are you from originally, by the way, Adam?
Unfortunately, I was born in Syria.
In Syria, okay. So
which is crazy. That's how I got my withholding of removal. I've been here since the age of 4.
So my answer to you is, it's like, you know, you call me up and you say, you know, sometimes the answer is like being a cancer doctor. Let me put it to you this way, okay? Patient comes in, they have cancer. What does the doctor do? You got to operate and take the tumor out. Okay, so what's causing you the problem? These convictions. You got to get rid of them.
Yeah.
It's like the tumor, you know, in a cancer patient. So it's not an immigration lawyer you need. You need to search out the best criminal defense attorney.
But I could apply for that 212C or what?
No,
because I'm already deported. I got just a judge's order withholding.
Right.
My removal.
You can conceivably, you would have to reopen. You would have to reopen your deportation case, but you would have to apply for the 212C waiver outside of the United States of America. My advice, because you never had a green card, my advice would be, because a 212C you can get if the convictions happened before 1996 and you have a green card, or you can get a 212C waiver if you have physically left the United States and want to re-enter. But you've never physically left the United States, so you can't.
Never, since the age of 4.
So what you need to do is find the best criminal defense attorney that your money can buy in Florida and see if you can get your convictions vacated. If you can, then you can come back to see me and I can reopen your deportation case and get your green card. But other than that, you're gonna be out of luck.
Even though it's been like since 2011, from my understanding, there's like cutoff lines, so you could reopen them. But
there is for cases that were before 2011, there's no constitutional mandate that the case has to be reopened because you had bad advice. But it's still discretionary on a judge's case by case basis whether that judge particularly wants to reopen your case and say this is an unfair event. Okay, so in other words, your criminal defense attorney for cases that were before 2011, the Supreme Court decision, because it only became a new right that you had to be told you get deported if you found guilty. It's a new right. Not an
I would think,
right.
Under the Constitution or something, I'd know a definitive outcome of accepting a plea,
Let me finish.
Repercussions. But I guess not. There's some holes in the law.
Can I finish, please? Okay, so.
Yeah, sorry about that.
Okay, so just listen. If your conviction's after 2011, this is what the Supreme Court says. It's a new right. The government has to tell you you're going to get deported. The prosecutor has to tell you you're going to get deported. The judge has to tell you you're going to get deported before you take a plea. Before 2011, there was no right to that. Whether you knew it or not, that's what the Supreme Court says. Whether that's right or wrong, that's wrong. How do you have a right to know in 2012, but in 2010 you don't? It doesn't make any sense. Okay, but that's what the Supreme Court said. Yeah. So, I'll tell you what we do in my office here in New York. I can't do it for you in Florida because I'm not a criminal defense attorney in Florida. Is for the cases that were before the Supreme Court decision in 2011, which is what your case is. Okay, you work on the judge's sympathy, okay, because it's a discretionary decision on a judge whether to reopen a case. A judge could reopen a case for any reason he or she wants.
Wait, so I'd have to reach out to each one of those judges in those cases.
You would need to get a good criminal defense attorney to file a motion based on all the sympathetic factors why this is an unfair result for you. However, the judge has a discretion whether to open the case or not. That's up to that particular judge. If your conviction was 2014, there's no discretion. The law says that you had to be told, and you weren't. But there's a difference. So after 2011, no discretion. Before, discretion. So you just need a good criminal defense attorney to when Leonardo DiCaprio was drowning in the Titanic and everybody's crying. You need a criminal defense attorney to get that emotion from a judge to reopen your case. You understand?
Okay.
All right.
Thank you so much, Brad.
You're welcome.
I really appreciate everything. I love your show, man.
Thank you very much.
Keep up the great work.
Thank you.
God bless you.
Okay. All right. Let's go to Michael in San Francisco. Michael.
Brad,
how you doing?
I'm doing good, thank you. I have a question. It's first of all, I wanted to thank you for the show. You help us a lot. You don't have idea how much you're helping all around the world.
I appreciate it.
And the question is, as for a family member, I'm trying to help her. She's a citizen. She's going to petition for her husband, but she's getting Medicaid week. I think she has 2 kids and program for school.
Okay, if that's going to be your petitioner, she got to get the kids off. She can't take any sort of Medicaid. But she should file before October 15th for you because it's going to get much tougher after October 15th.
But she can still receive the Medicaid and the week thing, or she has to quit that?
If it's for her children, yes. If it's for her, she's got to quit it.
She has to quit herself and the children can stay on week.
Correct.
Okay. And
assuming you file before October 15th. After October 15th.
Before.
Right. After October 15th, everyone's got to get off.
Okay, so the children can be on Medicaid, but she has to leave Medicaid.
Correct. She can't accept anything.
Okay, and I have another quick question. It's a person who applies her father being arrested when she was 20, but then she turned 21, and he became a citizen now. But the thing is she still qualify as the category for under 21?
No, she would be. She's over 21. She would be in the F1 category now.
So she has to wait, right?
Yeah.
And after her turn, is she gonna be able to get a document, or she has to leave?
I don't know what her situation is. Is she out of status? Is she 245I eligible? I don't know that situation. And
she applied for a 130.
I know.
130 when she was 20.
Okay, I understand that. None of those facts help me to determine whether or not she has to leave or not. What would determine whether she has to leave or not is how her father got a green card, how the mother got a green card, There's something called grandfathering under 245I. Was she a derivative of an old case? All of that, I don't know. In addition, if she does leave, she would have to leave with a provisional waiver. She just can't leave. Because if she leaves without a provisional waiver, she'll have a 10-year bar. None of this she knows, and I don't have enough information to tell you whether or not she can get her green card here. But we can have a consultation and I can figure it out.
Yeah, I can tell her to call you guys.
Yes, all right?
Okay, thank you so much.
Appreciate it.
Have a good day.
All right, let's go to Atik in Queens. Atik.
Hello.
Yes.
Hi, how are you, sir?
Very good.
Okay, sir, I have a couple of questions. My first question is about public charge. So far as I heard, the new rule is going to start from the October 15.
Right.
So I'm a U.S. citizen, and I want to apply for my mom. So she's in Bangladesh.
Right.
So, and
You're
I am on medical.
You're going to fall under the new rule because you're not going to submit an affidavit of support for another year.
So if the rule goes effect, then I will fall in the rule, right?
Correct.
Okay, so my second question is, my wife has a green card. She's living with me here for last 2 years. And, so is this rule going to affect her to apply for the citizenship passport or no?
No, will not affect her.
So she can continue having the medical benefit or?
Yeah, whatever she wants. It only affects people who are applying to get green cards. It doesn't affect people who already have green cards.
So I cannot apply for my mom right now, right?
You can apply for your mom if you want to. Are you a citizen or a resident?
No, I have a U.S. passport.
Okay, yeah, apply for your mom right now today.
But you said the public charge is going to be applied for her also?
Yeah, you worry about it a year from now. Who knows what the rules will be? It could change. There could be lawsuits. Put it in I-130 for your mom.
Okay, so I have another...
What?
Okay, so I have the last question. My brother is 27 years old, and he is trying to get a student visa from Bangladesh to USA, and hopefully he will get it. So, yeah, if I apply for him, is my application going to harm? He's seeking for the student visa? Or?
Yes, it will, because it's going to show he has an immigrant intent. So you can't apply for a green card for somebody and then let them try to get a student visa. It will be denied.
Okay, so but when he applied, there is a in the application there is a form.
Did you apply? Excuse me. Did you apply for your brother?
No, not yet.
So then don't do it and let him apply for the student visa. And then on the form where it says, "Have you ever applied for an immigrant visa?" the answer is no. He never did.
Okay, so if he had to answer, if someone relatives, lives in the USA, so he has to
tell the truth.
What's that?
Tell the truth.
Okay, so is this, this thing is not gonna, harm his application, right?
Which thing? I don't even know which thing we're talking about anymore.
If he, said that, his brother, that means, I myself live in USA.
This is what will affect his application. Lying affects his application. That's number one.
So
lying, not telling the truth. When it asks, do you have relatives in the United States, and you don't tell the truth and they find out you're not telling the truth, you're not getting a visa. So by all means, tell the truth. That's number one. Number two, whether he has a brother in America or not is not as important as proving that he has enough reason to leave the United States when his student visa is up. That's what he needs to do.
Okay.
All right?
So, okay, thank you, sir. Thank you very much.
You're very welcome. Shanique is back. Shanique?
Yes, I'm here.
What didn't I answer before?
Beg your pardon?
Oh, hold on one second. Nobody picked up Shanique. She was on hold all this time.
Oh, no.
Oh, she's waiting to talk to me again. Let's go back to Shanique. Shanique, you waiting to talk to me?
Hello?
Are you waiting to talk to me?
Yes, I am, honey bun, because I know how you are right now.
Yeah,
You're mad.
I'm mad. I'm mad at the world today.
You should have taken a shot before you came in.
I should have taken 2 shots, maybe. I needed a couple.
Aww.
All right. So are you just calling to cheer me up now?
Kind of, sort of.
What? Kind of, sort of. Thank you very much.
Well, you said you needed love.
Yeah, she's just coming back to give me some love.
You said you needed it.
Yeah. Oh, thank you. That's so sweet. That's very nice.
That's really nice.
Yeah. Look at that. Now I feel so much better.
Made you feel better?
I feel better now.
Good.
Yeah, I do.
Yes.
I do. Thank you. Thank you very much, Shanique. That's so sweet of you. I do feel better.
She waited to say that.
She waited to say that.
Aw.
That's very sweet. Thank you, Shanique. Unfortunately,
You're
I would
welcome.
continue with you because you're making me feel better, except I have a show to do, so I got to say goodbye.
All right.
All right, but thank you very much. You were very sweet. Thank you.
You're welcome.
Thank you. All right.
Yes, you were saying that I should hold on to talk to you, right? So when were you saying about a cutoff date for this month?
September 30th. Get your application in before September 30th.
So, September. I thought, oh my God, I thought you said August.
No,
I'm sorry
September,
about it.
September.
Yes,
You got 5 weeks. You got 5 weeks. All right?
Yes, and another thing I want to ask you, right?
yes.
My cousin, she had her case, like her husband had lied against her, and she got locked out, but the court case was thrown out because she signed out herself in OR to get out of the jail.
Right.
She wants to do her citizenship because she has a permanent 10-year green card. Does it affect her getting a citizenship?
If she was arrested, yeah, it does. But, if it's a one-time thing and there was ultimately
it's her first offense,
and it was dismissed and shouldn't, she has to admit it, it could go towards good moral character, but ultimately she should become a citizen.
Oh, she's worried about it.
Then let her come see me. We'll take care of it for her.
Oh, okay.
All right. Thanks, Shanique. Be well.
You're welcome. Thank you, darling.
All right. Let's see what I have here on my list.
There you go.
Let's see what I have on my list to do. In another edition of Spar and Bernstein's Attorney Close-Up, partner and immigration attorney, Shannon boy, I can't talk today.
It's one of those days,
One of
Brad.
those days. In another edition of Spar and Bernstein Attorney Close-Up, partner and immigration attorney Shannon Laguerre-Mengret gives us some helpful filing for green card tips. Let's check it out.
When filing for a green card, I think that people who are interested in obtaining a green card should thoroughly vet their attorney. I think that they should go around and basically meet with attorneys, and they should feel very comfortable with who they hire. I think it's very, very important to trust your attorney. I think it's important to be able to ask them questions so you can feel that they're basically working hard for you. I think it's a very important thing, and so you'll see with a lot of our clients, I make sure that basically they feel that they are being well represented. It's very important to trust your attorney, and also a lot of times clients feel that it's okay to call immigration, the 1-800 number, and ask questions. Those individuals are not attorneys, and they also are not supposed to give you advice, but will sometimes do so, and it can be harmful to your case. So that's why it's very important to trust your attorney and to talk to an attorney when you're handling or when you have an immigration case.
Proceeding was information only and not specific legal advice. Consult an attorney about your individual situation. Prior successful results do not guarantee a similar outcome in the future. All right, let's do something we like to call social media checking.
And our very first question is from somebody in the Brad Squad, because they joined the group and the first 5 questions get answered first during social media check-in. We're going to leave the link right now in the comments to make sure that you join that. Our first question comes from Soné, who said, I'm a DV1 visa holder and I came in America in March of 2019. When can I go ahead and file for my wife and sons to join me from Cameroon?
The next day after you got here with a green card.
Oh, damn. He could have been done.
Yeah.
All right, Vanny Boo Smith, Vanny Boo Nisbeth, saying, should I use my married name to fill up the forms? I want his last name on my documents.
Should use his married name? You don't want. He does not want the list.
Should I use my? She does.
Yes. Use your married name.
Is it okay?
Absolutely.
Abby said, I'm 22 years old and my resident mom filed for me a week before I turned 21. A month after I turned 21, she became a citizen. The I-130 was approved. What's my category, and can I still be considered a daughter of a resident and apply for a pardon here and get a visa since that category is actually current?
She's over 21 now?
She's 22, yep.
Nope, you're F1 category.
Even if they applied like one...
Yeah.
Oh,
yeah.
damn.
Yeah, you don't get child status protection after that.
Thanks. All right, Sean Lewis saying, hey, Brad, my grandmother filed an I-130 for my mom in April 2013, and it was approved in August 2014. I was 19 at the time. However, I'm going to be 25 in October. Will I be able to get a green card with my mom, or should I look for another option?
You can certainly do it. It'll be about another year to go. You're in the F2B category, and you would have to do a provisional waiver, go home and come back, unless by luck of chance you're 245I, which you never know until you come see me.
Alea said, if someone who had an asylum case pending and had food stamps for the last year, if that person, for less than a year, if that person applies for an adjustment of status in November, could that affect their application?
No.
It will not affect it?
No.
Amazing.
All right, our next one comes from Fabian Ernest saying...
Because there's no affidavit support requirements for an asylum adjustment.
Ah, okay.
All right, our next one comes from Fabian saying, I'm following my AOS since January 2018. I got my interview in July 2018, and I never received a response. When I called, they told me my case is administratively closed. I don't know if it's because of my asylum case that's pending, and he's also got his I-130 approved.
Yes, it's because your asylum case is pending. You have to withdraw the asylum case in order for you to continue with an adjustment.
We've got kind of a long one from Michelle, so bear with me, Brad. So basically, Michelle was born in the UK and she's been residing in the US as a permanent resident for the last 16 years. In that time, she's gotten married and divorced twice and has kids from both marriages, and has taken government assistance programs such as daycare, food, and Medicaid because she was a single mother of two and she needed help. She's wondering, because of the new public charge rules, how is this going to affect her, given that she's taken support for her and her children, and
she doesn't have a green card yet?
She has her green card, but she does not have her citizenship.
Okay, so let me explain public charge.
Okay.
This is only for people who are applying for a green card. If you already have a green card and it's from 19 years ago, none of this should be affecting you. And by the way, there's no public law change, meaning that the law hasn't changed. The way Trump is going to interpret the law has changed. What previously the regulation is that in order for you not to be a public charge, meaning that in order for you to prove that your relative will not go on government assistance, you have to show that you earn 125% above the poverty level. That's what needed to be shown. Now, Donald Trump changed his interpretation of what a public charge is. Now his interpretation is that and by the way, this takes effect October 15th. So if you have an adjustment application filed before October 15th, the old laws will apply. The new laws will apply after October 15th. And what the new law will say is that if you earn less than $62,000 a year, whether you have to just, take care of one person or 10 people, there is a presumption now when you file for your relative that your relative will take government assistance. And now it is for you to prove to the government that they will not. So they say, for example, if you're going to earn less than $62,000 a year, your relative better be showing up with some medical insurance. Okay, that's one way to prove it. So there's going to be things that have to be done. The presumption is it's not just show a tax return. If your tax return's under $62,000, you now have to prove to the government. It's not enough to say, hey, my petitioner earned $62,000, my $50,000 a year. You have to prove to the government that you're not going to become a public charge. And they're going to list ways in which to do it. It's going to be a lot easier for you if you file before October 15th. I believe there's going to be a lawsuit. And there's going to be an injunction. and this rule is not going to go into effect, or if it goes into effect, it'll go into effect for a very short period of time. You should not be scared to file for your relative. We took a call from that gentleman from Indonesia. He's like, I'm a U.S. citizen. Should I file for my mother?
Mm-hmm.
And I said, yes. And he goes, well, will the old law apply or the new law? Well, if you're out of the country, the new law is going to apply if it goes into effect, because you're not going to be submitting an affidavit of support for at least a year from now. So unless you're submitting an affidavit of support before October 15th, the old law is going to take effect. After October 15th, the new law. So when you file an adjustment, you're submitting an affidavit of support with it. The old law will take effect. But that doesn't mean you shouldn't file, because who knows what the law will be in a year from now. File. So let's figure it out.
Somebody's kind of got to follow up with that. First Lady said, what happens if a person is not able to file before that date?
Then you can't. I mean, the world's going to turn, and October 15th is going to come here, and not every human being in the United States is going to get to be filed for before October 15th. We're going to have to deal with it. See how the rule's interpreted. Fight it out. Gotta take it as it comes.
AKA, don't do this without an attorney, folks.
That was the next thing I was gonna say.
Right.
Don't do it by yourself.
No, my God. The attorney is like, we don't even know how they're going to interpret this. How are you going to know how they're going to interpret your application?
Right,
Don't
we'll
do
have
it,
to see.
family.
Yeah.
Don't do it. Yeah, don't do it.
All right, Transcending saying, can I use the issue date on my driver's license to prove I've served the 10-year bar even if the license is expired? Would the consulate official mind that it's expired?
I don't know. There's lots of ways to prove, you have a 10-year bar. Most that you've overcome it, meaning that you've been in your country. Most likely would be that there's no record that you entered the United States, and there's a record that you left more than 10 years ago. But you can bring pay stubs, you can bring lots of things to prove you've been 10 years.
Our next question comes from Halle Berry, who said, I came in with a B1, B2 visa from Nigeria in 2017, and I married a U.S. citizen. I did my interview for my green card in March of this year, and I haven't heard back from USCIS. Should I be worried? I've renewed my work authorization last month.
I don't know about worried, but I would certainly be a bit concerned that it's been now more than 120 days and you haven't heard anything. You should come see a lawyer.
GT saying EB3 India filed employment base 485 from Baltimore. The latest status as of July 30th, 2019 says the case is ready to be scheduled for an interview. Now, what does this mean and how long to get an interview?
It just means that they've looked at your application and there's nothing else that you need to do. When you'll get an interview beats me. But it doesn't mean it's ready to be an interview means you're going to get it tomorrow. Just means they've looked at your application. They actually use the wrong language because it confuses everybody. Mm-hmm. What they should say is, we reviewed your application and everything is all set. You'll hear from us when you want to hear from us. Okay? That's basically what it means.
Right.
But I don't know what day you're going to get an interview.
Our next question, I was smiling at First Lady Hewitt, who said, I'm not actually worried. Spar and Bernstein's got my back.
All right.
There you go. I like that.
Peace Ann said, can I file for Social Security and get my driver's license on a B1, B2 visa?
No.
Is that it?
No.
Okay. Because, when I start reading, then...
That's true. He's like, but, just in case. No,
That's it.
Is that one of those?
No. If you have a tourist visa, you can't just go out and want a driver's license and a social security number.
Yeah, that sounds...
It's such a silly question. It just deserves no. That's it.
Right.
Come on.
All right, Shane Williams has our next question. Hey, Brad, I'm a permanent resident. My 9-year-old son got his visitor's visa, will be visiting for the holiday. How can I go about letting him stay here and go to school and not return?
Who's this? The nephew?
No, his 9-year-old son.
And what's his status here?
So Shane is a permanent resident. The 9-year-old son got a visitor's visa.
Okay, great.
During the holidays. So how can he get him to stay here? No, he's going to come during the holidays.
Which holiday are we talking about? Christmas?
Possibly.
Or his next holiday.
When the son comes here, first of all, he can't come with the intention of getting a green card. Okay. So if that's what your intention is, he's already violating the law. Mm-hmm. He's coming here with the intention of visiting.
Right.
After he's here, if you change your mind and want him to stay, you come see me. We'll figure out where the law is in 6 months from now.
So a permanent resident can somehow get their
Yeah, we'll
son
figure it
there.
out. We'll figure
Okay.
Arrow said, how long does it take after USCIS receives the answer to an RFE to make a decision?
It's supposed to take up to 120 days, but sometimes they take years. After 120 days, they should be giving you a decision.
All right, Danielle Sita saying, hey, my asylum has been pending for more than 5 years, no interview. What should I do?
Come see me. You need to file a mandamus if you have a serious asylum claim.
Yeah, 5
And our
years.
last question of the moment comes from No Corruptos, No Impunidad. Says, I applied for VAWA in July of this year. I got divorced. New fingerprints were done in August, and a new work permit has been issued. The previous I-130 was stopped. Can I continue working with my previous work permit, and how long would it take to get a new one under the VAWA?
You can work with your social security number. Your work permit's not valid anymore. The taxes will go through. You file a VAWA, you'll get a new work permit. The fact that you worked out of status won't prevent you from getting a new work permit on the VAWA, and it won't prevent you from getting a green card on the VAWA.
So keep working.
So keep working, basically. All right. Meanwhile, I do have to remind everybody that we do have Instagram accounts here, as well as YouTube and Facebook. And we always, Jonathan and Kim always tell you to please follow us and share Facebook and YouTube. But I do have to remind that we are also on Instagram as well. You can follow me at Real Brad Bernstein. If you follow me at Real Brad Bernstein and you are part of the Brad Squad, you can talk to me freely. You know how many people have been taking advantage of that? Yeah. I get a lot of DMs now from lots of people asking their question.
I'm sure you do.
So please, and so if I don't know you, I'm not answering your question.
That's right.
But if I know you, that means you're not a closet commenter,
right?
Or a closet
yeah. Like
viewer.
You're not
you come
in
out of the
closet.
closet comment.
Right.
That means I've seen you comment. That means I know you.
Right.
Okay, so if you comment and I know you, and you follow me at Real Brad Bernstein on Instagram, and you can see some of what's going on in my life,
right,
and ask me your questions. I'm happy to answer them. You can also follow at Brad Show Live. At Brad Show Live, you'll see all the highlights of previous days' episodes from Brad Show Live. And Belgium Kim and Jonathan Yo-Yo Elias.
You can follow me at Belgium Kim TV.
And you could definitely follow me at Jonathan Elias TV.
All right, so meanwhile, I had the pleasure of recently speaking with Roxanne White, who grew up on the Native American Yakima Reservation in Washington State. Now, Roxanne is the founder of the group Missing and Murdered Indigenous Relatives No Borders. It's really interesting because you don't realize how many people from Native Americans, women, go missing.
Yeah.
I didn't even know this until I talked with her. She joined me to discuss her very important work and mission. I thought it was really interesting. Let's watch. Roxanne White is a Native American. She's an advocate for missing and murdered Native American women, and she herself is a sex trafficking survivor. She joins me today to discuss her work, the group Missing and Murdered Indigenous Relatives No Borders, which she founded, and why Native Americans feel a close connection with the Central and South American migrants who are presently arriving at the U.S. southern border requesting asylum. Thank you for being with me today, Roxanne. How are you?
I'm great, thank you.
So you were born and raised on the Yakima Reservation in Washington State. Where in Washington State is that?
I presently reside on Duwamish Territory, Seattle, Washington. Yakima is east of the mountains here, about 2 hours and 45 minutes. It's one of the largest reservations in Washington.
You're still a member of the tribe. Do you ever not become a member if you leave the reservation? How does it work?
I want to acknowledge that we as a people didn't create the blood quantum. It's very harmful to our people.
In other words, if you have a certain percentage of ancestry to Native American, that legally under U.S. law we're talking about, puts you as part of a tribe or not part of a tribe?
Right. If you have a certain amount of blood, you can be enrolled in this tribe. The problem with that is it was created to eradicate us. For me, for instance, if I don't have children with another Yakima, the blood quantum is counted and lessened. In order to be enrolled as a Yakima, you have to be a quarter. I am not a quarter Yakima.
Your DNA is a combination of two different tribes, is that correct?
Actually, my DNA is a combination of 4 different tribes. I am Yakima, Nez Perce, Nooksack, and Grovant.
What happens when each generation gets, I guess, their DNA diluted of that particular tribe? What does that do to you as a Native American?
It alienates and isolates a large amount of our descendants, and it causes this conflict of, well, you're not enrolled anywhere. The government does not acknowledge Native Americans that aren't documented. The purpose of that is one day there won't be any of us documented. And so therefore they can take the land, they can take everything that was originally ours, although they've almost taken everything as it is.
Right. Now, you started a group. It's the Missing and Murdered Indigenous Relatives, No Borders. I know your aunt was murdered on a reservation. Is this the first time that you came into thinking about what's going on and what happened to your aunt, or was this an issue in your head well before even that happened?
Well, I was born into this. As Indigenous people, as Native people, this is something that we were born into. Now, today, what it looks like on the reservations, all the epidemics that we have and that we're dealing with as a people didn't start with us, but we are dealing with it.
What happened with your aunt? She got murdered in 1996. Can you tell us what happened?
What I'm going to share with everybody is my aunt was shot in her face, and I was there and I witnessed it. What happened after that was why so many of us are standing on these front lines for our own relatives, for justice and equality. Because after my aunt was shot, there was no trial, there was no jury, there was no investigation. In fact, it was very quick and very short. It was considered second-degree manslaughter.
What laws prevail on the reservation? Is that U.S. law?
So it wasn't tribal court that decided that. It was definitely Yakima County Superior Court judge. We can talk about what happened to my aunt, but the fact is, the same justice that is given to a white person, we're not given that same justice, and that is the issue here.
And you're saying that not only about your aunt, but about many women on the reservation. Is that correct?
Yes, and we're talking about nationwide as far as Indian country, Alaska, and Canada. You know, this isn't something that is brand new. This is something that has been ongoing for 576 years.
How many women are you aware of? Has anybody even counted? How many women have gone murdered on reservations or have gone missing?
According to my good sister, Anita Lucchese, anywhere from 30,000 to 50,000. And that's dating back to like the early 1900s. As far as like knowing how many were prosecuted, I don't have that number because we wouldn't be here if we had data right now. That's what Anita Lucchese is doing. She is working on that data. And we need the data because the data is going to prove what we already know as Native people.
There's been a lot of rallies and marches pushing for legislation change, especially in Washington. What is that new law? Are you happy with it? Are you not happy with it? Tell me about it.
I think we still have a long ways to go. This is just merely the beginning. This bill is going to give the tribes here in Washington 2 liaisons. These liaisons will be working with Native communities. It's also supposed to mandate that money's given to tribal police and the tribes to assist with law enforcement. This is a beginning. This is a start. It's a great thing. This is not just isolated to women and girls. We need to continue to do the work for all of our people.
So it's just the beginning, but certainly not the end, I guess, is what you're saying here. Now, your organization, the Missing and Murdered Indigenous Relatives No Borders, tell me about it. Tell me about what you're doing.
I'm predominantly a grassroots advocate and activist. I'm also a survivor, so I come from a personal place. Missing and Murdered Indigenous Relatives No Borders is a Facebook group where a lot of information is shared across Indian country and the world through social media. We can share the flyers. We can assist families in creating a flyer for them. A lot of people do view these flyers. They share them out to their communities, to their friends. And we have this situation where because of social media, we can all share this immediately and instantly. So if somebody goes missing in Montana, we can work fast on the different reservations and in the different communities, and we can also support each other through there, and that's what I've been doing.
Can you talk a little bit about the history of the relationship between what's happening on the reservations with Native Americans, sex trafficking, human trafficking?
Human trafficking is something that European and Spaniard people brought with them from their countries. And so we've been being trafficked and enslaved for 576 years. So this is also nothing new. The colonizers' first 100 years, they didn't have any of their women with them. They had brothels, and they filled those brothels with our people. They target our communities. They're bringing these men through man camps, through oil bockins. They bring drugs, a lot of money. I mean, it's just like when we were in North Dakota fighting against Dakota Access, Bismarck did not want the pipeline to go under their water. They voted against it. Instead, they came to the Standing Rock Reservation and they wanted to go under their water. This is how it always has been. So, I mean, we have a long ways to go, but what we're doing is we're fighting against this.
I think the best thing that you can do, which is what you're doing, is make people care about this issue. So I think that's a really wonderful thing that you're doing.
If we're going to fix the problem, we definitely need to be working with tribes, and we need to be working with organizations that are indigenous-led, native-led. If you're a trafficker, you are definitely going to target our communities because you have poverty, okay? You have a lot of trauma, and you also have a system, a government that doesn't step up to protect us. Everybody has this idea of what a human trafficking victim looks like. I am a human trafficking victim, and this is how I look. And so, yes, our girls and our women are under attack. We are being targeted. Almost every tribe cannot prosecute a non-native, so that makes them, oh yeah, well, I'm going to go over here. This is a perfect population because there is no protection.
Where can people find out more about your organization, and what can they do to help?
Follow me on Facebook. I'm also on Instagram. My group is Missing and Murdered Indigenous Relatives No Borders. Also, if they wanted to support, they can contact Innovations Human Trafficking Collaborative. So innovationshtc.org and earmark MMIWG and Roxanne White.
And finally, we talk about what the American dream means. Tell me what that means to you.
That concept has changed since I was a little girl. So growing up, I was taught in the school system that the to elevate in education and to become very prosperous and to live this American dream. For me today, what it is to maintain culture, to continue healing, to continue breaking cycles, and to go back to our traditional ways, to at least connect with those and revive them and make them strong, to pass them down to our future generations, to protect Mother Earth, to protect our water, our way of life, our salmon and our whales, our eagles, everything from down to the plants. We don't own the land, but we were asked by the Creator to take care of it, to respect it and honor it. And so those ideas have changed for me. And I'm now 46. I'll be 47 in July. So I'd like to pass that information down to my grandsons and to my great nieces and nephews and to all those that are going to come after me.
Well, Roxanne White, thank you very much for coming on and really educating us and enlightening us to a really serious issue that I knew nothing about beforehand. And certainly if anybody wants to know more about Roxanne White, you can visit her on her Facebook page at Missing and Murdered Indigenous Relatives No Borders. I really appreciate your time, Roxanne. Thank you.
Thank you so much, Brad.
Okay.
You have a good day.
Thank you. All right, so we're going to put 3 minutes on the clock.
Yeah.
We're going to ask, how many questions, Kim?
We're going to try and do 15.
15. We seem to be stuck on that 15 and 3 minutes.
Listen, we'd like to ride this wave of victory for a little longer.
Right, okay, maybe another day or two.
Yeah.
And then until it just becomes humdrum.
Right, and then we're going to lower the limbo bar just
or
a little
maybe
bit.
raise the questions in the minutes.
Right. Do like
raise the
20
limbo
questions.
In 3.5
minutes.
45.
Something like that.
We could do that.
Something like that.
But we can do, y'all, I feel confident about our 15 and 3.
All right, let's do 15 and 3.
All right.
You ready?
Ready.
Go.
Kiki said the $62,000 threshold. Is it the petitioner that should be earning that annually or the affidavit of support person?
Both.
Andre says, I sent a response on my RFE to USCIS 5 months ago and still nothing. What's the holdup?
I don't know. What was in the RFE?
D-Bean, if denied a waiver based on marriage to American citizen, how long before you can refile?
The next day.
Ina said, can you have your case reopened by BIA if you have your I-130 approved and your U.S. citizen is totally disabled? You've been married for 14 years.
Are you talking about a deportation case? You need to make a joint motion.
And Goza saying, my application for green card was denied and USCIS sent me a letter. What should I do? I leave in the USA in 33 days.
Come see me with the letter and let's see how we can fix it.
Arlene said, I filed my I-751 last March. It's been 457 days and I've got 3 months left on my extension. There's no more import passport appointments. What do I do to get a passport stamp?
That's tough. You need to make an InfoPass appointment. They're not going to see you otherwise. You can give us a call and see if we can get you in there.
Richard, my motion I-290B to reopen, reconsider with enough evidence was denied. The letter stated that the I-290B forms and I-485, I-130 shall remain closed. What does this mean?
It means you got denied.
My USCIS scheduled my interview waiting on the letter in the mail, but my U.S. citizen husband got Medicaid for our daughter in May. Is that going to be a problem at the interview?
I hope it shouldn't be because the application was done before October 15th.
Ben Londa says, my cousin's I-485 was filed in July 2019 and he just got an RFE for his pending I-130 approval. What happens to the I-485 that's pending?
Who's filed for who?
My cousin was filed, doesn't say who, but...
well, you shouldn't get an RFE if it was filed by your spouse. You shouldn't get an RFE on an I-130, but I don't know who's filing for who, so.
Jessica Kalimi said, do you think it's wise for someone that has a VAWA application to wait for a response, or should they get divorced and remarry?
I would think about starting to get a divorce and remarry. I don't know what's going to happen with VAWA.
Andrew Thomas says, I filed an I-290B. It says open for reconsideration. What does this mean?
That means they reopened your case and will consider what information you provided in your motion to reopen.
Carolyn said all the documents sent, but the civil documents, does the applicant have to send his before they're going to continue?
Yes.
My stepfather, a citizen, filed for me as a child under 21, but my case was denied with reason. Now my mom, LPR, wants to file for me. Will my previous priority date be maintained or a new priority date?
New priority date.
Shorna says, are they still processing VAWA cases? And if they are, do the work permits are you still getting work permits?
You're still getting work permits.
Rolls Royce says, I was given voluntary departure by an immigration judge. I got married to a U.S. citizen. How long will it take for me to get a green card?
You got to reopen your case first.
Rolls Royce said, I was giving voluntary departure. I got married. How long till I get a green card?
You gotta reopen your case first.
That was different, yeah.
Two different people asked the same question.
That's 100% the different one. That was a completely different one.
So we got it?
We did it.
Whew!
That's amazing.
We did it.
That was a different one than the one you asked,
Definitely
right?
wasn't. It was the same.
It was the same one, really?
Damn it. We didn't do it then.
We didn't do it?
No, because you asked the same question twice.
I asked the same question.
I thought it was already at 15, though.
No, Kim, we asked the same question twice.
That was my fault.
Yeah, you can't, just because once you have a voluntary departure, you need to reopen your case first before you, so how long? It's going to take a long time to reopen your case. It's not because you just file a paperwork now that I'm married.
Jessica Levy was a fan of her answer, Brad.
What?
She said, thanks, Brad and Kim. Now, who wants to marry me?
That's funny. Well, listen, let's see what happens in the next month with the VAWA cases before we all jump to conclusions.
That's true. Right, before you're proposing to everybody in the comments.
Right, but you already have your VAWA filed, so it doesn't hurt to start a divorce, because it's already done.
Yeah.
As long as your VAWA is done within 2 years of divorce, you're already pending, so you might as well do it.
You're not wrong.
All right, comments of the day.
Okay. Our very first one comes from the wonderful Jeff Bosey, who, when talking about the greasy pole climbing contest in Indonesia for their Independence Day, he was like, see, that's a lot of work for Independence Day. I'd rather just hold a sparkler and go, yippee!
I agree. That's right.
That is a lot of work.
That's funny. That is a lot of work. Yeah.
All right, our second comment of the day comes from D Bean, and D Beans has your back today, Brad.
Okay.
D Bean says Brad is not having it today, people.
No, I'm not having it.
He's not in the mood.
I'm not in the
Please
mood.
listen when
Yes.
he answers your question.
It's so funny because I'm not a good poker player when it comes to my
Oh,
emotions,
no.
right?
Oh, no.
Yeah.
I would love to play poker with you, Brad. I've said that a million times.
Yeah, I'm not a good poker player with my emotions.
That's because you wear your heart on your
I
sleeve,
do.
Brad. That's a good thing.
I do.
Our next one, who also has your back, Brad, Donna Spence said, peace. 200 people are watching on YouTube and only 29 likes. Come on now. We need to do better than that for the best immigration lawyer is live right now. Thank you.
Oh, wow.
And believe it or not,
That's very nice.
when she said that we were at 29, we're going to end the show today at 45.
Wow.
Well done, Donna.
Right.
Thank you.
So
Thank
maybe
you. That's
they'll
very
listen
nice.
to them.
Yeah, they want
so
to listen
you
to
guys
us.
talk
Right.
to each other amongst each other and tell each other to share as well.
Right, exactly.
Since they
You
don't
know
wanna
what we
listen to
want
us.
to do. You know what we want you to do.
Yes. All right. And our next one comes from Samuel Olabisi saying, after I watched your show, I filed a mandamus for my N400. And guess what? Today I passed my citizenship interview thanks to Brad and your information.
All right, so I'm telling people, you found, nobody believes me. There it is, and he did it
there you
himself.
go. Wow.
Boom.
Right? Boom.
There you
Mandamus.
go.
Mandamus.
Mandamus. And
Right.
our very final one with a new turn. I think this is going to be our new shirt, Brad. Kenyan Forster said, Brad is Bradnificent.
Oh, I like that. Even on my crabby day, I'm bragging.
I like it.
Yes.
Bradnificent.
Wait till you see me on a day that I'm happy.
Okay.
Right?
Ooh.
All right, everybody. We'll see you tomorrow. Maybe I'll be happy tomorrow. So, Sam, as part of the production, we have to say this disclaimer at the end of the show. Do you mind reading it for me?
Okay, but you know, Brad, I have to do everything around here. It's bad enough I've got to remember everything that happened on the episode from the previous day.
Forget it. I'll do it. The proceeding was information only and not specific legal advice. Consult an attorney about your individual situation. Prior successful results do not guarantee a similar outcome in the future. To make an appointment with the Spar and Bernstein law firm located at 225 Broadway in New York City, call 1-800-529-5465. That's 1-800-529-5465. Easy to remember, 1-800-LAW-LINK. That's 1-800-LAWLINK. Once again, make a call to 1-800-529-5465. And of course, link up with the law offices of Spar and Bernstein, located at 225 Broadway on the 5th floor. If I were you out there, make the call, make the link, make the connection, make it Spar and Bernstein. 1-800-LAWLINK. That's 1-800-529-5465. And now, conveniently located in Hartford, Connecticut on 1 Congress Street. Visit us in Connecticut or in New York at 225 Broadway. That's 1-800-529-5465. 1-800-LAW-LINK. 1-800-529-5465.